Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel of the Herald newsletter, coming to you from Belgrade, the capital of the world, and it's the evening of the 2nd of October 2025, and we're looking in this video at the prospects of peace returning to Gaza. Okay, so it seems that Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu have come up with a 20-point peace plan. Some media outlets are reporting 21 points, but I'm going by the BBC, which is reporting 20 points. I'm not sure what the difference is. Anyway, Donald Trump may have had input, and so did Netanyahu, but it's likely been drafted by, on the one hand, the US State Department and foreign policy experts and military top brass, and probably with input from Israel's foreign ministry and security branches as well. But anyway, here is the 20-point peace plan. Now, I'm not going to, there are some points which are very short, which I can read quickly. Others are going to take a long time. So I'll just sort of summarize them. Point one, Gaza will be de-radicalized, terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. Obviously, the Israelis insisted on that one. Not sure how you achieve it in the long term. Short term, maybe. Difficult one, that. Because you pretty much have to control everything they say and do and think. Mind you, they do it in Britain. Point two, Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered more than enough. Okay, fair enough point. Point three, if both sides agree to this proposal, the war will immediately end, provided both sides agree. Israeli forces will withdraw to the agreed upon line to prepare for a hostage release. During this time, all military operations, including aerial and artillery bombardment, will be suspended. Okay, reasonable point, but both sides have got to agree. Number four, within 72 hours of Israel publicly accepting this agreement, all hostages, alive and deceased, will be returned. No mention of Hamas accepting it, but I presume it's implied, or at least it can be inferred, that if Hamas accept it, Israel will. So I doubt if Hamas say yes, the Israelis are not going to say no. So really it's dependent on Hamas. Now, point five, once all hostages are released, Israel will release 250 life sentence prisoners plus 1,700 Gazans who were detained after the 7th of October 2023, including all women and children detained in that context. For every Israeli hostage whose remains are released, Israel will release the remains of 15 deceased Gazans. So that establishes the exchange rate. All right, but all very doable, provided the parties agree. Point six, once all hostages are returned, Hamas members will commit to peaceful coexistence and to decommission their weapons, will be given amnesty, and members of Hamas who wish to leave Gaza will be provided safe passage to receiving countries. Who will the receiving countries be? Who wants Hamas? Qatar, possibly. Maybe Turkey. Possibly Britain as well. But again, Hamas members who commit to peaceful coexistence and to decommission their weapons will be given amnesty. Okay, it's a bold move, but it can work. Point seven, upon acceptance of this agreement, full aid will be immediately sent into Gaza Strip. At a minimum, aid quantities will be consistent with what was included in the 19th of January 2025 agreement regarding humanitarian aid. Well, I don't suppose anybody's going to object to that, and it's easy enough to agree. Point 8, entry of distribution and aid in the Gaza Strip will proceed without interference from the two parties through the United Nations and its agencies and the Red Crescent. Again, I'm summarising this. It's quite a long point, but implied, but worth stating. Yes, if there's an agreement, that's all fine. Point 9 is quite a long one. It makes me amused. Gaza will be governed, this is point 9, Gaza will be governed under the temporary transitional governance of a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee responsible for delivering the day-to-day running of public services and municipalities. It will be made up of qualified Palestinians and international experts under the supervision of a board of peace, which will be headed by Donald Trump and other heads of state to be announced, including former Prime Minister Tony Blair. So that's how Blair is going to serve on the board of peace, an oversight committee of the Palestinian committee responsible for the day-to-day running. He's back. Point 10. A Trump economic development plan to rebuild and energize Gaza will be created by convening a panel of experts who have helped birth some of the thriving modern miracle cities of the Middle East. Well, worth doing. Gaza could have been Singapore if they wanted, but they went a different way. And if they become Singapore, and it's still possible that they could, well, that would be a very good thing, because they'd have an investment in their own community. And I think if Hamas's influence can be removed, that's very achievable. There'll probably be a golf course there, and of course a casino, because it's Trump, but worse things. Point 11, a special economic zone will be established with preferred tariff and access rates to be negotiated. 12, no one will be forced to leave Gaza. This is an important point. And those who wish to leave will be free to do so and free to return. We will encourage people to stay and offer them the opportunity to build a better Gaza. Now, that's very significant because, of course, we've heard over the last few months about plans to evacuate Gaza, which means drive the Palestinian Arabs out of it, which is, of course, ethnic cleansing, but the Israelis seem to be very keen on this at one point, and maybe they still are. But provided Hamas stand down, no one will be forced to leave Gaza. So that's what the Israelis would have to stick with. Or they could leave and return. Very significant. That was 12. 13. Hamas, and this one's significant as well, Hamas and other factions agree not to have any role in the governance of Gaza directly, indirectly, or in any form. Who are other factions apart from Hamas? Al-Qassam brigades? Hamas and other factions. Which factions are they referring? All military terror and offensive infrastructure, including tunnels and weapon production facilities, will be destroyed and not rebuilt. There will be a process of demilitarization. I'm finding it difficult to believe that Hamas will agree to this. If they do, it's a minor miracle, and it's only because they felt that they had no other options. 14, a guarantee will be provided by regional partners to ensure that Hamas and the factions, again, who are these factions, comply with their obligations and that New Gaza poses no threat to its neighbours or people. Again, I don't know who the other factions are or regional partners. Jordan, maybe Egypt. 15, the United States will work with Arab and international partners to develop a temporary international stabilization force, ISF, which will be deployed in Gaza, which will train and provide support to vetted Palestinian police forces in Gaza and will consult with Jordan and Egypt, who have extensive experience in the field. They will also work with Israel and Egypt to secure border areas. So they want to establish a reliable police force. I mean, it's that can work, but again, this is also dependent. 16, Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza, which is what they were talking about doing. As the ISF establishes control and stability, the Israel Defense Forces will withdraw based on standards, milestones, and timeframes linked to demilitarization that will be agreed upon between the IDF, ISF, the guarantors, and the USA, with the objective to secure Gaza that no longer poses a threat to Israel, Egypt, or its citizens. Again, it means the IDF handing over control, but in a gradual and controlled way, ultimately under the suzerainty of the USA. So it will be a process, not an event. Can work, but a lot of stumbling blocks. 17. In the event Hamas delays or rejects this proposal, the above, including the scaled-up aid operation, will proceed in the terror-free areas handed over from the IDF to the ISF. Again, that's significant. So it could happen even if Hamas don't consent. 18. An interfaith dialogue will be established between the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try and change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace. I think good luck with that. 19. While Gaza redevelopment advances and the PA reform program is faithfully carried out, conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. Well, again, that's just a statement of aspiration. It's not part of a plan. It's what you hope happens. Point 20, the United States will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on a political horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. But where have we heard this before? It's the same old two-state solution. Look, I think if this works, it would be better than the situation it is now. It could radically improve. But the key to it is Hamas. And if they don't agree to this, then it doesn't go anywhere. If Hamas does agree, then the Israelis are stuck with it. They have to agree, but then they had a hand in drafting it. So they may have drafted the whole thing for all I know. So will it work? I'd like to see it work. I'm very skeptical. Colour me skeptical. I hope I'm wrong. Anyway, please do comment if you have anything to say about it, and please also do subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join me again soon on our next foray into geopolitics with the Herald newsletter. Thank you for watching, and wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, or good night.